Hi everyone, it's Maggie, and I'm here to show you how I made the book base for my fabric book. And all as you need, or all as I needed, was um, the fabric for my book pages. And for this, I'm going to use fabri-tac. You can also use hot glue if you want, or you can even stitch it on your sewing machine. But for this purpose of showing you, I'm going to use the fabri-tac. So the only thing you need is like I said, the pieces for the book base, some fabri-tac, and I use batting for in the middle. So if you watched my live while I was working on the shabby vintage book, I mentioned that I had gotten the material from Michelle Scott, and this is it, and it was one big piece. And so I cut it down to 8 squares, and when you fold it in half, it made the perfect page. But it's too thin, so I cut 2. And then here's the wrong side, and then I'll put the right side up on this, and you just place the batting in between. Now, what I do, let me put it this way, I want to make sure that when I glue all the ends, that, and this is why this is perfect, this here going all around the edging, I don't want the batting to be in there, and I want to leave these 2 edges clear because that's where I'm going to make my spine. Now, normally I use hot glue to adhere the batting because it gets into the fibers, but the fabri-tac does too. And since I forgot to put my hot glue gun on, rather than wait, I'll keep going and I'll just use the fabri-tac. So I just put, and I don't put a lot, but I just put a little bit in the middle and do it like this. And then I put it down, just making sure that those edges are clear. And as you can see, when I cut my batting, there's no way I can get it straight. I don't do straight, but it really doesn't matter because even around the edges, it's going to be covered up when I put trims around it. So let's do this. Okay. Another really nice thing about this material is that I'm going to be able to place it so that the spine lines up right in the middle there. Now, the edges aren't always going to line up perfectly because I believe this might have been a tablecloth. And so, of course, between washings and putting it on the table, it gets stretched. And I almost did that wrong. I want the right side up. So they're not always going to line up, but you just want to get them. You want to make sure your spine is lined up here. And then you just line up the edges as well as you can. Okay. And now I'm going to put some fabri-tac to hold it down this way. And it really does work just as well as hot glue. Actually, the fabri-tac probably works a little better, because once it dries, that's not going anywhere. And normally the hot glue doesn't either. I've never had a problem using hot glue on fabric, as long as you really, really get it in there. And I mean, I really mush it down, then it gets into the fibers, and you don't have, I mean, it takes a lot to get it to come off if like you make a mistake or you need to take it apart for some reason. All right, so the batting's in there. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the edges. So let me do that quick and make sure I'm in frame. I hope I was in frame because I'm not even looking at the screen. So I just go along the edge. And like I said, you can skip little spots. That's not going to matter, because when you glue down whatever you're putting, you know, whatever trim you're putting around, that's going to grab it too. So, and I like the frayed look if I'm doing shabby vintage. I like that frayed look. I don't like it to be perfect. All right, so then we're gonna, and I know this is kind of boring, but it's the only way I can show you. Sometimes the, you know, the how-tos can be a little bit boring. It's the embellishing that's the fun part. And you don't need a lot either for this. So there's the top part, right? And then make sure. All right, since now see, this wasn't perfect, so I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to put the fabri-tac on this side so that it doesn't go over onto, you know, like out here. I don't want it to end up out there somewhere. I mean, for the most part, it's not bad. You can kind of stretch it a little bit too. That ended up being better than I thought it was going to be. All right, and then we just have to do the bottom. And again, trying to make sure I'm in frame here, for the most part anyways. It's kind of hard because the book pages spread out are kind of on the wide side. So there. All right, so there you have the first two book pages. And now see, that's nice and thick. You could put 2 pieces of batting in there depending on each side, depending on how, you know, thick you want the pages, but I think that's plenty thick. All right, so there's those two. And then I use one more. And so this is going to just be a repeat, but I'll try to go as quick as I can. So let's put these 2 in there. This has to go over just a little bit. And then this can go right here. Okay, so do this quick. Oh, and of course I'm going to hit the camera. Okay. And then once you're done, you're just going to have to let them dry for a little bit. This needs to go over there a little more. And then if you let me know in the comments if you want me to do a start to finish, where I do more like a series, you know, like a step-by-step, I can do that too. I just need to have some feedback on that. Okay, and then I want to line up that middle. There, that's nice and lined up. And pages are pretty good for the most part. The ends, that's good. Okay, so let me do one page at a time, and that way there, almost more than likely be in frame. And this doesn't really take that long. If I wasn't, if I was just doing it and not showing it, I'd probably be able to knock off at least 5 minutes or more. But I wanted you to see, and in case anybody's, you know, that's out there wants to know how I do this so that they can try it. I know I've had a few subscribers ask me to do a video on how I make the book start from the very start. I think I did do I'm not sure, but I think I did a fabric book how to, but I don't think I showed you how to do the actual base of the book itself. So I hope I'm not repeating myself. No, it's actually doing it different anyways, because I probably used hot glue. I didn't become a fabri-tac fanatic until Laurel sent me the bottle here so that it doesn't clog up. Because the first time I used fabri-tac, it used to just bubble right out of the top, and it just drove me nuts. So I just stopped using it. But now I use it probably more than my hot glue. Just when you're embellishing, a lot of times you need the hot glue because of the embellishments that you're using, like flowers and that. You can't really stitch those on. All right, so almost done here. Just the side. There. Okay. Now the next thing I do is put the book together. So I take the pages and I first of all line the spine up so that it's, yep, okay, that's good. All right, and I do want a spine. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to do the middle first, and then I'll do the edges. So I'm going to glue along here. And I'm not going to go all the way to the top because when I'm doing my trims around the edges, I like to have that top open. So I'm just going to glue here and there. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that back, and I'm going to, oh my gosh, if I hit this one more time, sorry about that. All right, So we get that side done. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, right along this here. So I'm going to start in at that second little bump there. And just leave the bottom one open too. Right, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to press that down. Okay, and now that gives me a spine. And I did just finish that fabric book, so I'll be doing a flip through in the next day or two, depending on how much time I have. Okay, so now I'm just going to work my way out around the edges again. Oh, wait a minute. Well, that's silly. I don't want to do that. All right, let me take this up. I'd be gluing the pages together. Luckily, I didn't put too much glue on there. Okay, so here are the pages. Let me see. So you have the front cover, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the back cover. And I'm going to have to leave this open until that dries. I can't believe I did that at the end of the how-to video. Maybe I shouldn't be doing how-to videos. But I don't want to, I'm not going to do it over again. So that's why in a lot of my videos, I'm going to say, and I do say, what you see is what you get, bloopers and all, because I don't do any editing. I'm actually streaming in unlisted until the end, and then I'll turn it public. It's the only way I can do videos right now. I don't know if I explained it, but the short version of it is when I bought my new laptop after my other one crashed, I didn't realize that there's no slot for my SIM card from my camera. And this is a brand new laptop. And it was, I think, their latest, one of their latest styles. So I was never even thought to look for it. So unfortunately, I can't do videos with my camera like I used to and upload or download, whatever you call it. So now I stream unlisted unless I'm actually going live. And then I wait until the end. I watch it, make sure there isn't a terrible blooper that I just have to definitely start over. And then I just turn it to public and it's fine. So that's why you see all this, it says streams, but it's not actually live. So, okay, that's dry. So now I can just, okay, so there's the base of the book. So I hope that was helpful for anybody that hasn't made one and that wants to. This is really the simplest way that I know how to do it. It's whether I stitch it together, hot glue it together, or fabri-tac it together. This is how I do it. Even if I'm not using this type of material, even if I'm just using, sometimes I make book bases out of muslin or, you know, just other types of material that I find. So yeah, so that's it. I'm going to start rambling now. So I'm going to go. If you like, leave me a comment. Please let me know if you want me to do a start to finish series. I'll keep them as short as I can. And yeah, just let me know. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I will be back again soon. Bye for now.